Hello, welcome to More Yoga with me, Emily. Thank you so much for joining me today. Um, this thing that I've been saying lately at the start, like, I hope you're well, and if you aren't, that you'll feel better after yoga. Like, it's okay to not be okay, right? There is a lot happening in the world today and in our lives, and some things are happy and some things are not, and some things are stressful. A lot of things are stressful. And taking the time on the mat or in the gym or on a walk or any of these things where you can give yourself the time to detach in a way from the world, right? To withdraw the senses can help give you strength when you return to your daily tasks. So, yoga teachers are super duper um, let's just say bad at this sometimes, right? Of like saying, oh, well, if you don't come and do a daily practice, then you're not excelling, or if you just do yoga, then you'll be fine. And then that's not the case, right? Yoga is a tool that we have, and you don't always reach for the same tool in your toolbox, right? Sometimes you need a wrench and you don't need a hammer. So all of that to say, you were doing awesome because you came to this. And if you decide partway through that this is not going to be your jam and you want to just go watch Netflix or go on a walk or whatever, it's all good, right? Do what you need to do. So, in honor of that, sort of, I thought we would bring it back to basics today and essentially just do the sun salutation. We'll warm up a little bit and get mobile first, but we'll start it off with lots of breaths per movement, and then slowly shorten it and make it a little bit faster. So they'll start slow and stretchy, and they'll get fast and cardiovascular, at least a little bit, nothing too crazy. And then we'll bring it back down, and then that will easily fill half an hour. So I hope that sounds all right to you. Let's start lying down if you're comfortable there. If you'd prefer to be in a seated meditation or on your side, then start wherever you want to start. I like lying down because usually I record these in the morning and I'm still a little bit sleepy. So here we go. And then, depending on how your day has been so far, you might feel like, oh, I need to take some wiggles out or stretch out. Do whatever, whatever you need to do here. And then you might lie down with your legs extended. See how that feels on the low back. And sometimes it can feel a little bit tight or doesn't feel quite right, in which case maybe you choose to bend your knees. And then you can take your feet a little bit wider than hip width or even mat width apart and letting the knees hang in toward each other. And that will really help disengage any muscular activation that you might need to use otherwise to be there. Some of you might prefer to take the soles of the feet together and the knees wide, like in a butterfly pose. Really just go where you need to go, right? You might be in a giant starfish position, and that is awesome too. And then for a few breaths, inhale through your nose and exhale, sigh your breath away. A couple more. And they don't have to be deep breaths. In fact, it's better that they're not super deep, just letting the exhale go. And then continue breathing however you need to, whether it's in and out through your nose or your mouth. Notice how your breath is flowing. If it feels really smooth and spacious, then awesome. I know for a lot of people it's allergy season, so maybe your breath doesn't feel quite so smooth. If you notice those sticky or choppy spots, you might gently try to lengthen through those parts to smooth the breath out a little bit more. Maybe start to notice the rise and fall of your belly or your chest. Maybe you feel the widening of your rib cage on the floor with every inhale, or the softening of your body with every exhale. Notice where you're breathing, whether they're low belly breaths or lower rib cage, or maybe you're breathing up into your chest and shoulders. It doesn't matter. None of those is necessarily right or wrong. Simply notice. And you might notice that your mind starts to wander or chase thoughts, and that's totally normal and natural. When you do notice that happening, acknowledge whatever thought you might be having without judgment, and then try to let it go. Let it drift by you, almost like you're seated next to a stream and a little leaf just floats by on the water. Like it's there, but you don't have to interact with it, and then it's gone. A few more breaths here. Know that at any point, if things get too wobbly or shaky, too fiery or intense, if you're able to bring your focus back to your breath, slow and sweet, can help calm the wobbles and shakes, help dispel the fire or intensity. And gently start to bring a little bit of movement back to your body. Could be a wiggle of your fingertips or toes, or maybe a rock of your head from side to side, or a full body morning stretch. And then when you're ready, draw your knees into your chest and take a little rock from side to side. You might stay here. You might start to draw circles with your thighs and your hip sockets, maybe going in the same direction as each other, or maybe taking the legs in the opposite direction. Maybe you do some kind of weird egg beater thing, if that feels good. And then from here, if you'd like to grab the backs of the thighs and maybe start to rock and roll up and down your spine, shoulder blades to sit bones. Or if that doesn't feel good, then roll to one side, press yourself up with your hands, and then we'll meet on hands and knees. So adjust, set up however you need to. You can even pad underneath your knees if you wish. And eventually, knees underneath hips, toes can be tucked or untucked, and then hands outer shoulder width apart or wider. This is going to be quite important because we will be bearing weight on our hands quite a bit today through downward facing dog. So make sure the outer edge of your shoulder is in line with the middle of your wrist, and that the vertex, right, the V of your peace fingers points towards the middle of your wrist as well. So the arms are slightly externally rotated at the shoulders, which gives your shoulders lots of space. Now as we inhale, lift the tailbone, hollow through the lower back, broaden through your collarbones into cow. Exhale, tuck your tailbone round through the spine, really press your spine up to the sky. And then inhale, dip into cow. Exhale, round into cat. So a few more of these undulations on your own time, on your own breath. And maybe they feel really slow and unctuous. Or maybe you start to bring some faster movements or even other completely different movements into your body. Move however you need to move here. And it might look nothing at all like cat and cow. And that's cool because I can't see what you're doing. Probably no one else is watching you either. And if they are, they're definitely not judging you. Last for a couple breaths here. Okay. Come back to center, little draw of belly button to spine. Make sure your hands haven't migrated towards each other, so take them nice and wide, fingers spread wide. Start to grip the mat with your finger pads. You can feel that firing up the muscles of your forearms, which protects your wrists anytime you're bearing weight on them, or weight on your hands rather. Tuck your toes and exhale, lift your hips up and back. downward facing dog. Now, at any point today, if this does not feel like a position that is going to be good for you, then by all means, go back to hands and knees instead. Or if your wrists are a little bit tender, you could choose to take dolphin pose instead, knowing that the transitions will be a little bit more awkward, but that's fine. You might pedal your heels toward the floor, bending one knee and then the other. You could wag your tail from side to side here, even de-weight one leg or the other. Maybe come up onto fingertips on one hand or the other, or maybe both at the same time. Last couple breaths here, just easing into your downward facing dog. Knees can be bent, and in fact, I recommend that the knees have a little micro bend here. Then bend them a little bit more. Look forward. On your exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top edge of your mat, standing forward fold. So we'll be moving through this position a lot today as well. So let's hang out here for a little bit, kind of ease into it. Micro bend in the knees or a deep bend. Certainly not hyperextended back. And you can play a little bit with bending your knees a little bit more and straightening them. And if you straighten them and feel like you're starting to generate tension in the low back, bend the knees again. Because it's not the sort of tension that is releasing stress in the low back. Right? You might sway a little bit from side to side. You might be still wherever you need to go for the last couple breaths. Okay. And then with fingertips to your shins or blocks or the earth, inhale, little partway lift, belly button to spine, wrap your shoulders onto your back, beam your heart forward, tailbone goes back, and then exhale, let it all go. Couple more, inhale, little partway lift, exhale, let it all go. Last one. And then bend your knees, head heavy, arms heavy, slowly start to roll up to standing, one vertebra at a time. As slow as you need to go, till eventually you come all the way up to standing. Maybe take a couple loops of your shoulders, up, down, and back, little wiggle, shake or noodle. And then let's start to, build into the sun salutation. So feet hip width apart-ish, unless you prefer to practice with feet touching. Tailbone to the earth slightly. Not so much that you're tucking under, but you also don't want it lifted, right? So tailbone to the earth slightly. Hug the legs toward each other, belly button to spine, shoulder blades on your back. On your inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Now you can go wide or forward on a 30-degree angle. Exhale, melt to the earth. Forward fold. And then fingertips to shins. Inhale, a little partway lift. Exhale, let it go. Bend your knees, plant your hands. On your inhale, hop, step, or float back to your plank position, off to the top of a push-up. Now you might be here up on your toes, you might be on your knees, but your weight should be shifted forward over top of your wrists or your hands. And you don't want to be piking through the hips, but you also don't want to be sagging. So think of pressing the lower ribs up to the sky. Squeeze the bum, squeeze the tops of your thighs. Last couple breaths here. And then look to the top edge of your mat. You can always come down to your knees first. Exhale, lower all the way down to the earth. Little wiggle of your hips from side to side. Untuck your toes. Press the tops of the feet into the floor, so much so you feel your kneecaps lift away. Send your tailbone to the back wall, belly button to spine. And on your inhale, reach your heart forward and up. Baby cobra, shoulders onto your back. Back of the neck stays long, so looking down rather than forward. And then exhale, lower back down. So a few of these on your own time, on your own breath. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Your hands might hover, or you might press them into the floor a little bit more. Maybe you choose to take the hands wide off the mat. Maybe you take little sideways movements here, kind of like a charmed cobra. Last breath. Okay, when you come back down, plant your hands again, nice and wide. Tuck your toes. Exhale, lift the hips up and back, either to tabletop or downward facing dog. You can always transition through hands and knees. You don't have to do the full push-up. Okay, from downward facing dog, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top edge of your mat, standing forward fold. Fingertips to shins, inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer. Okay, adding on to our sun salutation. Inhale to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Couple breaths here. Fingertips to shins. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. This is where the change comes in. On your inhale, step your right leg back. Gently release your back knee to the floor. Maybe you choose to use a chip foam block. And then on your inhale, come up to your lunge. So let's start with low lunge. In next few times through, if you want to do a high lunge instead, then by all means, go for high lunge. You can shake it out, go off alignment, even back out of the hips a little bit, right? Go wherever you need to go. But then start to wrap the right hip forward as you draw your left hip back. Sinking in to the front, you really squeeze the bum on the back leg, ground through the front heel so that front knee isn't wobbling around. And then maybe you float your arms up to the sky. Chill out on the shrug muscles while you're here, right? So you're not compromising the space between the ears and the shoulders. One more breath here. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands, tuck your back toes. Maybe you heel into that front foot out a little bit to give yourself more space. And then on your inhale, step back to your plank. Couple breaths here. Move any blocks to the side. And then exhale, lower all the way down to the earth. Inhale, little baby cobra. Exhale, let go. Couple more of those. Or maybe you pause at the top and just hold it for a couple breaths. Again, we're starting slow. And then your next exhale, come all the way down, plant your hands, tuck your toes, exhale, lift up and back, downward facing dog. A few breaths here to settle. On your inhale, lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your right foot to your thumb. Gently lower your back knee to the floor or a chip foam block if you're using the extra padding. And then inhale, come up for a low lunge on the opposite side. So again, you can shake it out, go off alignment, release whatever you need to release, particularly for the first time that we do a position. And then start to sink the hips forward slightly, really squeeze the bum on the back leg. And then maybe the arms float up to the sky. Couple breaths here. On your next exhale, fold forward, tuck the back toes. On your inhale, step forward, top edge of your mat, standing forward fold. Little wiggle or sway. And then fingertips to shins, inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Charge your legs, inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer. Okay, inhale up to the sky. Exhale, melt to the earth, forward fold. Couple breaths here. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. On your inhale, step your left leg back. Back knee can be up or down. Inhale, come up for lunge for a few breaths. And maybe you ease into it, taking your time. We're still on the slow round. We'll speed it up next time. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, tuck the back toes. Inhale, step back to plank. Couple breaths here. Exhale, lower all the way down to the earth for a few breaths. Inhale, baby cobra, either up and down or just hold it. Wrap the shoulder blades onto the back. Keep the legs really active. Squeeze the bum to protect your low back. Exhale, release to the floor. Tuck your toes, and then exhale up and back, downward facing dog for a few breaths. Again, if you'd prefer to practice from hands and knees, then by all means, go there. And then inhale, lift the left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your left foot to your thumb. Again, back knee can be up or down. Inhale, come up for lunge for a few breaths. You can see I'm still wiggling into it a little bit, warming up the body, just finding these connections. Little drop, belly button to spine. Really squeeze the bum on the back leg. One more breath here. Exhale, fold forward. On your inhale, step to the top edge of the mat, forward fold. Couple breaths here. Fingertips to shins, inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer. Let's speed it up a little bit. Inhale to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. One more breath. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. On your inhale, step your right leg back. Back knee can be up or down. Inhale, come up for lunge for a couple breaths. If you're high lunge, really squeeze the leg on that, or the back leg, the bum, the top of the thigh. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands. Inhale, step back, high plank, either from the toes or the knees. Exhale, lower all the way down to the earth. Inhale through your back bend. One more breath, keep breathing. And then tuck your toes. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, step your right foot to your thumb. Again, back knee can be up or down. Inhale, come up for lunge. Squeeze the bum on the back leg, squeeze the top of the thigh, particularly if your knee is lifted. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step to the top edge of the mat. Exhale, fold. One more breath here. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale to the sky. Exhale, melt, forward fold. On your inhale, step your left leg back. Back knee can be up or down. Inhale, up for lunge, couple breaths. Find your balance. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands. Inhale, step back, high plank. Exhale, all the way down to the earth. Inhale, couple breaths, either moving up and down through cobra or just holding the top. And then plant your hands, tuck your toes. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. One more breath here. Inhale the left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, step left foot to thumb. Back knee can be up or down. Inhale, come up for lunge, couple breaths. Sink into that front knee. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step to the top edge of your mat. Exhale, release. One more breath here. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer. Okay, speeding it up again. One breath per movement. Inhale to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the right leg back. Back knee can be up or down. Inhale, come up for lunge. One breath. Exhale, plant your hands. Inhale, step back, high plank. Exhale, lower all the way or partway to the earth. Inhale through baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, step right foot to thumb. Back knee can be up or down. Inhale, come up for lunge, one breath. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step to the top edge of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, melt. Charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer. One breath. Here we go, opposite side. Inhale to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the left leg back. Back knee up or down. Inhale, come up. Lunge, one breath. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands. Step back, high plank. Exhale, lower all the way or part way to the earth. Inhale through your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg high. Exhale, step right foot to thumb. Back knee up or down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step to the top edge of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, release. Charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, right back down to the earth. And for 3 breaths, inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, let it all go. 2 more. You can sigh or flutter your lips. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Inhale, hop, step, or float back to plank. And then exhale, come all the way down to the earth. Awesome work, everyone. Little wiggle of the hips from side to side. Untuck your toes, tops of the feet press into the earth, tailbone to the back wall. Feel the belly button engage toward the spine. Inhale, reach the heart forward and up. Now pause here. Back the neck stays long unless you have to lift your chin to look at me. Reach your arms back along beside you. Maybe they do weight. Maybe the palms are up or down. Maybe you choose to clasp the hands behind the back. Option to stay here. Or maybe you reach your feet so far back that the legs naturally start to de-weight. Reach the toes, the fingertips, come back to the back wall. And then exhale, release all the way down. One cheek to the floor. Deep belly breaths to release through your lower back. And then roll over onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Little rock from side to side. Allow the breath to slow down. Allow the heart rate to settle. And then take your right arm out to the side. Let's move into a twist. So maybe shift your hips right a little bit as you exhale. Lower your knees to the left. Now you can take any variation of twist, as always, that you would like to take, where the knees are stacked. Maybe a single leg twist or legs crossed, wherever you need to go. And you might look along your right arm just to finish off the spiral in the neck, if you wish. And then on your inhale, return to center, reset your pelvis, your spine. Maybe you shift the hips left a little bit. Left arm goes out to the side. Exhale, lower your knees to the right. Again, as gentle or as deep of a twist as you need. Last couple of breaths here. And then on your inhale, return to center. Hug your knees toward your chest. Take them wide out toward your shoulders or armpits. You might stay here or kick your feet up to the sky for happy baby. You can grab the backs of the thighs or somewhere along the legs, the ankles, or the feet. You could rock a little bit from side to side. You could extend one leg or the other, just going where you need to go. And then when you're ready, think about where you would like to go for your rest, whether it's flat on your back, legs bent, or straight in Shavasana. You could rest on your side or in child's pose or a seated meditation, literally anywhere that you can be at ease. And there's no rush to get there. But once you have found your pose of rest, for 3 breaths, inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh the breath away. Couple more. And then let go of your breath control. As much as possible, return to your natural breath, which can be hard after controlling the breath pace. Notice if you're holding any last muscle gripping or tension, and if so, can you release that a little bit more as well? With each exhale, let your body melt a little bit deeper into the earth. And then come back to the stream. Seated on the banks of a stream. And maybe the thoughts are there, but allow them to be background noise. The leaves drift by, the waters drift by, but you don't need to engage. Stay here longer if you can, 5 or 10 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.